because you and Brett played together quite a bit, so.
Yeah, Brett and I have been playing together since like '99, so yeah. It's crazy when you say it out loud. Wow, man.
Does Betty Levette have a band out in New Jersey?
She does. Brett was with her forever. He just left her not too long ago, like 2 years.
I know her and Al Hill have been.
Al's back with her, yeah. She wanted me to come back, and man, I would have, but I think she wanted me to be the MD, and I'm not a musical director. I'm a bass player. I know better. Just I'll play my parts.
I think Al was, wasn't he?
Yeah, Al was, but she just wanted me to form a Detroit band and do it again, but I just couldn't. I couldn't. I didn't want to, because I knew that touring is grueling, and they don't, like, Sturgill cared about the families. He promised me I wouldn't miss my son's birthday. I got to go home for Halloween and take him trick-or-treating. Those things matter to me, and with Betty, and it's nothing against her, she's got a career she's thinking about. That's number one. So I just didn't want to get into that space again, where I'm not seeing Jeffrey, my son, and sure my wife, for weeks and months. So I said no.
When did the Betty Levette thing start for you? How did you meet her and that whole thing go down?
That was Pat Prouty. You know Pat?
I
You know Pat. Yeah, great bass player. Pat was playing with her. I guess in the late '90s, mid to late '90s into the early 2000s, and they were doing some really cool shows. Like they were in my radar, and I would tell Pat, like, dude, you're so lucky. This is great, He played. They played at Morgan Freeman's bar in Mississippi, Ground Zero. And Morgan Freeman interviewed him. And they played Bonnaroo, and they were touring, and it was like it was a big deal, And one day Pat emailed me and said, "Look, I'm going to move on, and I've recommended you. I think you'd be a good fit, so you might be getting a phone call." And I did, and so it was another one of those things where it was recommendation, and there wasn't really an audition. I mean, there's always, you get the gig, you could get fired after one, so I guess it was mine to lose, but I didn't have to go in and play for her first or anything, it was just right into rehearsals. And I think the first thing we did, or the second thing, was the Conan O'Brien show. So
was Brett already in the band at that
yeah, he was a couple of gigs ahead of me.
Okay.
I was still Pat, and they went to Japan. And then when they came back, it was me. And I think we did the Wolf Trap in Virginia, and then we did Conan O'Brien, which to me at that time, it was like 2007 or 8, was wow.
Yeah.
Just wow.
That was the first probably huge project you've been in.
That was, it was a life changer, man. Yeah. It was great. And then we had 5 years of, she was tough at first. She's tough as nails, and
I read her book.
Yeah, she is. Her and her manager, they didn't take any bullshit, man, and they would let us know. Boy, they would break our balls mercilessly.
What would be a thing that should be tough on?
Well, anything, like for me, because I'm a big guy, right? So, like, you learn the rules fast with her. Like, you can't say certain things. Like, if we were backstage and we were being fed a meal, and I said, "Wow, this is good," she'd be like every goddamn thing. She would just go off,
Oh.
So you just were quiet, until they're spoken to.
Okay.
But then as I got to know her, then it was great. Like we all, she was still surly, but she loved us and we loved her, and the manager too. He was the tough, didn't like us because we were the new guys, Then it turns into the buddy movie, and it was great. Our last night together as a band, we were in Cape Verde in Africa. We stayed up all night, with near the water. I was leaving because my son was going to be born, and we just drank cognac by the water and moved on. It was wonderful,
Wow.
But it was also really, really grueling. And actually, the reason I left the band was because I was going to miss my son's first birthday, and I kind of saw the writing on the wall. I'll miss this one, but that's the only one I'm missing. So.
And that was 5, 6 years with her? 7 years?
5 years.
Right.
Yeah. It was hard to leave, but I had to.
Yeah, well, your family is, Faye's followed you individually, not just as a Detroit bass player or as a popular bass player. They see that you're very family oriented, you and your wife and your son. You guys, and I run into you and your wife at gigs too. Like Jared and Susan or something,
Yeah.
it's like you guys have always been a tight-knit unit, so it's cool that you've experienced the road, the studio, the time, the big bands, the small bands, the club bands, but you've kept the whole night together.
Yeah, man, I mean, I've always loved my wife when, from the time we were together in '03, before we were married. But anybody with kids, as you know, when you have a kid, wow, everything changes. Like you're told that, but until you experience the fear of loving something so much, just like the helplessness and all the feelings, I was like, well, all right, I'm not going to be an absent father. I'm gonna have to be here, So
Yeah, it's a 24/7 gig.
yeah, especially boot camp, as I call it when they're first born. My God. But yeah, and she, when Sturgill's thing happened, she rose to the occasion. She did everything she could to do to make it work for me. So,
Very cool.
yeah. So, I mean, if something were to come up like that again, it would have to be, she'd have to sign off on it, and it would have to be worth our while, And let's face it, I'm an old guy. There's a lot of young guys that will do that stuff for, half the money or whatever, or just, it's fine. It's how it goes. So, I got to do it. I'm happy with where I'm at now. I could be a little busier, but I guess we all say that, right?
Yeah. What are some of your favorite records you've recorded with any of the bands, or anybody we haven't mentioned? You're on a lot of records.